Good morning, entrepreneurs and builders. Welcome to the Breaking Business Podcast, where we don't just talk marketing and entrepreneurship, we dissect it, we challenge it, we extract those golden nuggets that you can actually use every single day. Business is in your blood, and I'm here to make it boil. I'm your host, Dr. Wood. Now let's break it down and build something great.
Today, I kind of wanted to talk about niches. And the big question I get a lot here in 2025 is, do I actually need a niche, or is it some sort of outdated system for marketing? And the short answer is yes, you kind of do need a niche, but it's not for the reason of whether it being outdated, but it's more of a skip of a step. So a niche, another way to think of it, is a thematic system for what your product or service is. Example, if I'm an education niche and I have created this branding around my business that everybody knows that I am into education, you skip the step of trying to acquire people out in the ether that are interested in education organically. Another way to think about this is a car niche. So I am selling used cars, the theme being cars. Well, through my general practice of doing SEO, of organic social posts, by just simply existing over time, you start to cultivate an audience. And that access to audience makes it easier to skip the step of figuring out who your audience is, figuring out what I need to do to sell to these particular set of people. And so you can pinpoint who your ideal audience is with this niche and basically just go straight at it. I am a car business, a car niche. I am targeting people that are adjacently interested in cars. And so it makes it easier to find the ideal audience, which then in turn makes it easier for you to advertise to that audience and or using data science to increase profit margins, understand how to retarget those people, and configure a system of repeat customers. It just makes it easier when you establish a niche to sell, essentially, or to create a business. There are pitfalls of doing a niche, though. The pitfalls being, once you establish yourself as a car niche, to say along with that, you can't really deviate from that. You can't break through as easily as, let's say, a general provider. If I was a car person that also sold car parts but also sell car comics, because the niche is broadened a bit, your audiences are also going to be broadened, and it's going to be harder for you to hone in on that particular audience that's going to maximize. You'll eventually find three sets of audiences that are particular for each of these things, and you can do retargeting and you can do outreach for those particular audiences. But it's also easier to deviate, right? So if I no longer wanted to be a car person or a car parts person, but instead I wanted to shift over to comics, not just car comics, but I wanted to shift into manga, or let's say I wanted to shift over to Transformers comics. I don't know if they actually sell those, but if they did, this would be something you branch around, right? And you're allowed to pivot that way almost because you have car comics. There's a core behavior, which are comic readers, in your audience already that allows you to quickly pivot. So if you as a business owner, or potentially an entrepreneur, or potential business owner, are trying to decide whether or not you want to develop a niche, or you don't fully understand what a niche is, look at what your primary product or service is and ask yourself, is this the thing that I'm going to be doing for the next 5 to 10 years? If you can almost 100% guarantee yourself, hey, I'm only going to be selling cars and car parts, then that's your niche, and there's no reason for you to broaden that. But if you are looking at it and saying, I don't know, and if that uncertainty is because of cash flow or investing or anything of that, that's kind of not related. You want to, if you had unlimited access to funds and resources, would this product or service be that thing that you are passionate enough about to develop a brand and a business around? That's the primary question. And if the answer is yes, then develop into that niche. and that is your niche. So the question almost is in reverse. Do you actually need a niche, or is it outdated advice? It's almost kind of in reverse. It's more like, do you feel like you are going to be passionate enough and you're going to stick with it long enough for it to actually be a niche? Or are you going to pivot away because of insert reasons here, and you can't actually develop the niche anymore? Another extreme version of this would be if we look at, think places like Walmart, Target, Dollar Store, your quote unquote general stores. That is a niche, but a lack of niche. So the niche is retail knickknacks, and just literally, it's in the title, general stores, general products and things. But the niche itself is retail. The products aren't the niche. It's the store that becomes the niche. So you actually can swap over of what you define as a niche as well, which it makes it kind of confusing. But your niche could either be your product or service, or it can be in the entirety of the store itself. So example, I am an electrician, but I also do plumbing and I also do pest control. Well, what's my niche? Well, your niche, if you want to delve into all three of them, you actually can have the overarching niche of home services, which it's a broad, but if I wanted to niche it down even further, it's for pest control, you niche it down even further to, I only service these types of pests. Or plumbing, I only do drain cleaning, garbage disposal, shower drain repair. And you niche it down based on the service. And that's what makes the idea of niche being almost perspective. Well, it's like, what do I want to do as a business owner? Do I want to be more broad, less broad? The term niche and outdated advice as a core question, as I'm talking about it to you guys, I don't think it's even the right word anymore. Do you exactly need a niche? To me, I'm reading it as, do you actually need a product or service? And the answer is yes, duh. Who do I sell to? If I don't have anything, what am I selling? So the question, as I continue talking about it, it's just a dumb question. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, share it with friends, family, whomever. And if you disagree with my opinions, please post your argument below and let's have a discussion. I'd love to hear your perspective on niches and whether or not you think that it's crap, or if you, or sorry, not niches in particular, if you think that you actually need a quote unquote niche in this capacity of this video, or if you think that the terminology of it should be shifted over. See you guys in the next one.